Right, we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Los Angeles Sevens. We are down to the nitty-gritty side of the competition, and this game has huge implications for the Springboks. We are currently watching USA take on Canada, and if the USA win that game, it means that whatever the USA have won by, South Africa will have to win it by an extra 2 points. So currently, we will have to wait to see the points differential. New Zealand, they have got a points differential of 42. So no matter what, they are through to the quarterfinals. But it's a question of whether they will be joined by the USA or whether it will be South Africa. So currently, 9-point advantage in favor of the USA. So that will put them to a +2 advantage, which would mean that the Australians, or sorry, not the Australians, South Africa would need to win by 12. But that is how this game is currently sitting. It could change easily if Canada do score themselves a try now. But looking through at the starting lineups for New Zealand, first of all, Shea Clark does get himself in the starting lineup. Akulia Rokalisoa, Lewis Omondi recently returned to the Seven Circuit, has been looking very strong in the process. Caleb Tangitau, Regan Ware, Joe Weber, and Sione Molia as the starting lineup for the Kiwis. Then for South Africa, it is going to be Sakoyisa Makata actually getting to start in this contest. Ryan Oosterhuizen, JC Pretorius, Branko de Prea, Sefiwe Soyas-Wapi, Mulla Duplessis, and Darren Adonis. So it could be a very interesting contest to see how much really this game does mean to South Africa. How much do they want to push towards that quarterfinal? If they miss out, it means that their chances of becoming the World Series circuit winners is over. So that shows how much is on the line for them. New Zealand, they'll just have to play their natural game. They are well and truly ahead. They just need to make it close, because the thing is, South Africa could win, but if they win by less than 12, they will still not make it through to the quarters. We have got Crazy NZ in the chat. Hope you are doing well, mate. Currently sitting almost 11 a.m. here in New Zealand. We've been up all night doing the sevens. Before that, we were doing the Rugby Championship and the cricket between England and South Africa. So we've had quite the journey throughout the night. But the points differential currently for the USA is sitting on +2. So yeah, 12 points win for the Blitzboks would be what they need. And it seems like the USA want to make it a little bit more challenging. So Perry Baker going to be backing himself on the outside. He runs it a touch. So that will be the end of the game now. And the USA, they've made their way up to +2. South Africa, the implications have been set. They need to win by 12 up against New Zealand. So that is good to know. It's coming off the bench, though, for these two sides. There's some very dangerous players. We have got Nicole for the Kiwis. Ngshu is there. Naroni McGarvey Black actually scoring a try in the last contest. Roderick Solo and the 50th tournament veteran Kurt Baker there at number 10. Then for the, I would keep on almost calling them the Wallabies. But then for South Africa, James Murphy, Zane Davids, Angelo Davids, Shilton Van Veek, and Sean Williams is there as well. New Zealand says Ta'afu, but now we are straight into this one. New Zealand ranked 9th, South Africa ranked 1st. So everything on the line for them. And I think both of these sides, they will know exactly what is required of them now. I'd like to think that South Africa have done the quick maths, and now they know that 11 points difference is what they have found themselves sitting for this group. We will see an aggressive Springbok 7 side, I'd like to think. New Zealand, though, they can't take this too casually. They would much rather have the USA in one of those playoff games rather than South Africa a bit later on. But I'm looking forward to seeing Makata in the starting lineup. We haven't really seen him get too many starts. Normally comes off the bench. Also, they have got Darren Adonis and Branko de Prea in that starting lineup. But Paulo Duarte, charge of this 123rd match in charge as referee. Springboks are looking locked in for this one, or the Blitzboks, I should call them. But Soyas-Wapi, the captain, has been in situations like this before when they've needed big wins to be able to go far in competitions. Shea Clark, you'd have to say he probably hasn't really experienced a game with this much kind of pressure on it in the 7 circuit, at least, because he has only played the 2 games, one of which was the first match of this competition. But the ball has been delivered to the halfway line. Branko de Prea will be kicking off this half for the Blitzboks. And the whistle has been blown. We are now underway, ladies and gentlemen, for this matchup between New Zealand and South Africa. Do let me know your score predictions in the chat as well. Branko de Prea kicks it off into the shade. It's taken nicely by New Zealand. And Caleb Tangitau hanging on to it. JC Pretorius pushes him close to the touchline, but just able to get himself wrestled down to the ground before going out. Now Mollier gives it off. Now it's a nice run from Lewis Ormond. Looks like it's been almost stolen clean. No, it's a little bit of a handling error there from South Africa in the breakdown, and it actually leads to a penalty in favour of New Zealand as well. South Africa must win by 12 points to qualify for the quarterfinals. They have just put up on the screen. If they do not get the win by 12 points, it does mean that the USA will be one of the top two sides who do qualify of this group. And New Zealand, you'd assume that no matter what, New Zealand, as long as they don't lose this game by about 40, they should still be there as one of the top sides, and they should qualify first in this group. Now, Rokalisoa throwing it in, going straight to Shea Clark. In the line out now, first receiver, it's Weber. Hard in the tackle there was Regan Ware and Sawyer's Wapi fighting for the ball. Rokalisoa sells the first dummy, sells another, now runs hard, finds a little flick pass offload off to Urmond. Didn't actually find the hands initially, it did end up bouncing on the ground. Shea Clark plays half. Rokalisoa back across to Weber. It has been all New Zealand with the position. Joe Weber having a run backwards there. Not a lot of space. Shea Clark now finding a miracle offload there. Another one from that time. It was Joe Weber. Caleb Tangitau tries to accelerate. Now Sione Molly is going to back his pace, something we don't see too often. And Rokalisoa is going to be able to run it in for the first drive for the Kiwis. And that will be a massive one as it is right between the sticks. That will be a guaranteed 17 points. Or sorry, not a guaranteed 17. Guaranteed 7 points. But now it means that South Africa need to score 19 unanswered points to be able to qualify for the quarterfinals. Rokalisoa, though, just waiting for that opportunity to run it. Sione Molly actually had a nice run forward to then give it to Rokalisoa on the outside. Was rewarded with another try for the Kiwis. This will be massive for the USA, being on home soil and being in the LA Sevens quarterfinals. I'm not too sure who they will be matching up with as of yet. I believe it's normally A versus D and B versus C, isn't it? For the way that the pool's set up. But it is 7-0 now to New Zealand. 4 minutes 30 left of this first half. So still plenty of time left in the match for the Blitzboks to get back into it. But they don't just need to win. They need to win by a lot. Shea Clark making the tackle on Darren Adonis. It bounces out the side. Now Sione Mollier goes off to Caleb Tangitau. Be taken down on the 22. JC Pretorius, he had his hands on the ball quite some time there, but didn't manage to win the turnover. Now Rokalisoa is again having a run backwards. It's good defense from the Blitzboks initially to try and force the Kiwis back. It's a good run from Joe Weber, finds the offload though, and that seems to be somewhere where the Kiwis are very dangerous. Shea Clark has got in, and that will be another try for New Zealand. They now move up to 12-0 over the team who are currently sitting in number one. I think Shea Clark might have dislocated his thumb when putting down that ball. He did. I don't know whether or not he dislocated it from putting down the ball or something else, but he did have his thumb facing almost the wrong way. He did need it put back into place. Rokalisoa lines up the kick and just drifts away to the left-hand side. But I'm noticing a massive difference in the way that the Blitzboks play when they don't have Selvin Davids. It just shows how much that man brings to the Blitzboks side. Currently, they have been struggling a little bit in the last 5 rounds of the Sevens competition. But with Cape Town just around the corner, I'm sure that their eyes are firmly set on that one and the challenge involved in that regard. But South Africa currently sitting with a points differential of minus 21. Pop back out onto the side of New Zealand. So once again, the Kiwis will have the possession. That's the last thing that South Africa want in this situation. Now Ormond sells the dummy. Joe Weber, great pass on the outside, sits up for Sione Mollier. He's got a huge amount of speed going, but now it's hard in the tackle. It's too high from JC Pretorius, and now New Zealand, they won't mind just taking this one maybe towards the touchline, using up a bit more time on the clock. Right, Ormond, what's his plan? He does take the quick tap. New Zealand going to keep this one alive rather than going for that line out. Weber Now passes across, nice inside ball from Regan Ware, Shea Clark, player who found his way pretty much into the side for the Commonwealth Games due to how well he played in the Oceania Sevens. Now ball on the inside, it's another try for New Zealand. This time Ormond looked almost a little bit high from JC Pretorius in the process, helped up by the referee. And that one, nice little bit of sportsmanship between ref and player, but New Zealand now sitting 17-0 up over the Blitzboks. Second try for Ormond. Shea Clark found a beautiful offload on the inside to Ormond. And now New Zealand 17-0 up. This is going to have to be one of the biggest second halves that we have ever seen in Blitzboks Rugby Sevens history if they do want to make it through to the quarters. That one has gone wonky, so the kick didn't go over, but it remains 17-0 favour of New Zealand. If South Africa fail to make the quarterfinal, Australia, Argentina and Fiji will be able to win the 2022 series title. So a couple sides getting knocked out maybe in the quarterfinals in the future. Imagine if Fiji came from way at the back and were able to do so. I know that if Australia finish in 5th or less, I believe it is, that's going to be the penalty for getting the man in the air. But yeah, if they finish 5th or less and Argentina finish outside of the top 2 and Fiji win the whole thing, Fiji would actually be the champions on the 2022 Sevens series. One has been kicked into touch by Branco de Prea. 20 seconds left on the clock now for the Blitzboks to try and get themselves one try back in this first half at least, and then try and build in the second. Now, Branco de Prea, currently they are showing the standings. New Zealand sitting on 58 points. South Africa sitting on 124. It's going to be going in nicely straight. Makata looks off to the short side, bumps off Shea Clark, bumps off a tackle. 10 from Ormond as well, but he has been dragged down at halfway. Now, Branco de Prea slinging a nice pass out. It's going to be good footwork from Miller du Plessis. He has knocked that ball on, though, and that will be halftime between these two sides. 17-0 in favour of New Zealand. Will the Boks definitely out of the race drop if New Zealand wins? Says Hanoi. They certainly will be. So no matter what, although actually, now that I think about it, if Australia, Argentina, and Fiji all get knocked out in the quarters, there may still be half a chance for South Africa. But I believe even by making it to the quarters for Argentina and Australia, they may still be able to leapfrog this Blitzboks. So the Blitzboks pretty much at best, they can finish in 9th, and that will be what they need to aim for if they do want a good chance. But Steve Thomas, he'll be very happy. USA crowd behind him, getting to play now in a quarterfinal. At the moment, a lot more possession for New Zealand in that first half, though. We probably saw about 80% plus in favour of the Kiwis, whereas for the South Africans, just a couple little mistakes off kickoff meant that New Zealand were able to keep on getting it. If we lose, are we out, says Tom Rack? They are indeed. So it will mean that they won't be in the quarterfinals. They'll be in the round of 9 to 16 playoff games for the LA Sevens, though. So they could end up coming up against maybe a relatively tough opponent in there, but hopefully it will be a good matchup if that is the case, and we are able to cover it on the channel tomorrow at the random hour that it probably will end up being. And Neil Powell got to try and fire up his Blitzboks side. Okay, New Zealand, they look a lot more concentrated in the huddle. 1, 2, 3, finish. It's what they have just chanted. They want to finish this match strong. They've got 7 minutes. And South Africa, they will need 29 unanswered points in this second half. It is certainly doable if they get the first try of this match. So it is the equivalent of being able to score 5 converted tries or so. Or maybe a little bit less. You can have a couple that don't actually go over. And it's not a Bok weekend. Says cited, yeah, they lost the cricket, they lost the rugby, they lost the under-20s, and now they are losing the sevens in there as well. Certainly not a lucky weekend for the Springbok supporters, but good news is there's always next week that could add another win in the Springboks trophy cabinet, I guess you could say. It's gone up high, unable to claim it comfortably, but now back in the hands of South Africa. And now it's going to be a foot race. Adonis tries to go, has to try and get back up and down to Caleb Tangi Tau. In fact, was able to make the tackle on him. Branco de Prea Now going off, good run from the captain, Sifiwe Suiwape. And they just need something here, South Africa. They need a fire lit underneath them, and Makata trying to get through. It's a brilliant tackle made by Regan Ware, and it's a penalty to New Zealand. I believe they did say it was for a player leaving his feet. Now, Rokaliso, he will have plenty of time to be able to kick this one down towards the touchline. I'm actually going to have a very quick look and see how the other tables are sitting in the sevens, because currently we do know that it will be New Zealand and the USA making it through for this group of the quarterfinals. I believe Samoa must be relatively up there to getting themselves a couple wins. Australia, they will be the same in that regard. But the standings, there we go, standings in these pools. So Fiji, they won all 3 of their games, so they have qualified. No, I'm in the wrong week. Hang on. I'm in England. Where is it? There's the USA. That's the one we are currently in. So it is Australia and Argentina currently jockeying for position in Pool A, but I believe they have actually played off in most of their last games. So it will be Australia and Argentina who do go through. USA and New Zealand for this group. Ireland and Fiji, they will be the 2 who make it through. In the next group, it will just be determining who is finishing first and who is second, and then Samoa, and also either Scotland or Kenya, depending on who gets themselves the win in that one. But England are down the bottom of the bunch, but England play Samoa in their next game as well. So a few exciting games coming up. We have got 2 more that we are covering on the channel. It is England versus Samoa, and also Fiji. They are taking on, will be Fiji versus Ireland, so the top 2 sides in that regard. Currently, New Zealand have had a few carries throughout this match. Tackle completion of 100%, though, compared to the completion of the Springboks of only 58. But now Branca de Prea goes off to the short side. They need a try a minute now, and Darren Adonis is trying to sort that out for them. He's running hard. Sione Mulia able to drag him down. Recycles nicely. Now Ryan Oosterhuis, and that's a massive wide pass. Now beautifully into the hands of the number 5 who has come off the bench, Angelo Davids. He was a bit more prominent in the last week when we did see him at the Commonwealth Games. Now, once again, Ryan Oosterhuis fires it out to Makata. Big bit of contact there between the players. Now back across. Nice step from Ryan Oosterhuis, or in fact, that time it would have been James Murphy. Another sub that the Blitzboks have made as a penalty against Joe Webber for going through the middle of that breakdown and losing his footing. They want to take the quick tap. Now, 4 minutes left. Still a little bit of time. The Blitzboks, they'd love to at least get themselves 1 try in this contest, I think would be a moral victory, but they will more than likely, if I'm not wrong, they will probably have to play off against, I assume, Wales in the next stage. Oh, the Bruce Dupree, a nice pass out wide, missed tackle by Rokalisoa, and James Murphy does manage to score it. That is 1 try for the Blitzboks Sevens. They just need another 4 more, and they could be right in it. Like they're saying, a bunch of tries in a short period of time. If there's any team that could do it, though, it is this Blitzboks side. They have got the conversion as well. Now sitting 17 points to 7 up against New Zealand. James Murphy, pretty happy with that one. Kind of reminds me of Jordan Edmonds. 3 minutes now left on the clock. So it becomes 1 try a minute plus something. So it's surprising that they are waiting so long to kick this one off. So currently they sit minus 19. They need 21 more points, and then it would actually go down to who's had more wins and who won the head-to-head. So that would still be in the favor of the USA. So they need those 3 tries. Like I mentioned, Kurt Baker having a little bit of a mistake there, a knock-on. And now South Africa, they want to go for the scrum feed. Looks like New Zealand aren't in any hurry to get the scrum down. They would rather just take their time. I think Neil Powell now knows that this could be the end of the Springboks this season. He is actually heading to the Sharks next year, though, I believe, or after the Cape Town Sevens World Cup. He's going to have a whole different role. It's a free kick now to South Africa. 2 minutes left now on the clock. Dupree goes across here nicely. It's going to be another try, is it? Yes, Van Vuik goes through, and it's another try to South Africa. The thing is, they may still win this game. And it may not be by the margin that they need to, but it might still be a very impressive one for them. They're at the 22, going for this long kick. It's not an easy one for Sean Williams, but he's nailed it. It's going to be going over again, and now the score is 17 points to 14 in favour of New Zealand, but it's getting closer. Springboks have got a spring in their step currently. The way they are going, must win by 12 points to qualify for the quarterfinals, so they still need 2 tries and something in the next 1 minute and 20 seconds. So it's going to be almost impossible unless they continue to score tries at this rapid-fire fashion. They are currently of the Kiwis now, and it is the number 1, Manaki Nicole. Has gone down to ground penalty for the Springboks. Right. Oh, that ball has been ripped away. Going to try and take the quick tap here. No, they don't. Yes, they do now. JC Pretorius goes across. South Africa, I think they've realised that now at this stage, they just love to be able to get themselves a win over New Zealand. And then go from there, Sean Williams trying to pierce the gap, not quite able to get through now. Short side, Van Vuik goes off to Angelo Davis, the quick step in centre. Now fired across that time. Darren Adonis plays that one. Now good run from South Africa. New Zealand definitely do not want to lose this game, though. It will ruin their momentum that they have been able to build up. They've had quite a good run in pool play. This has to be the worst weekend in South Africa sports weekends, says Tom. It would certainly have to be up there, unfortunately, with the amount that we have seen for South Africa losing this week. Now out wide, it's going to be JC Pretorius. He's got brilliant acceleration. Now Oosthuizen goes back across. We are after the full-time siren, so as soon as this ball goes out or there is a drop or anything along those lines, the ball's popped out the back. Now Ryan Oosthuizen hangs onto that one on the halfway line, trying to find that attacking opportunity. Great low tackle made. The ball rolls back. In fact, it rolls forward, they say, and that is going to be the end of the match. New Zealand win it 17 points to 14, and they do book themselves a spot in the quarterfinal alongside the USA, South Africa. They will be missing out, and that may be themselves also missing out on making it through to the World 7 Series Championship. Nonetheless, do appreciate you all being here. Our next one that we are going to be doing on the channel is Samoa taking on England. That is at 11:43, so not too far away from that match starting up. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in a short moment.